What's going on, guys? This is Kaishiro. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video, we're going to cover OCG Metagame Report and deck list reviews from January 1st to January 7. So week-long span of tournament data gathering, and we are going to cover post QCTB and pre All-In or Alliance Insight. This will be from the major regions in the OCG from Japan, South Korea, China, and Taiwan. So we are going to cover the remainder of the QCTB format and the fresh start of our January 2025 limit regulation ban list. So without further ado, let's start. So moving on first, we do have Dragon Maid. So Dragon Maid with the Genroku and Chundra. This has been the recent development for Dragon Maid. They are opting to play the Dragon Maid with Genroku and Chundra only. Different from the previous iterations of Tenpai Dragon Maid, which played the Sunken Summoning and the Pydra on the main deck. Moving on next, we do have Gem Knights. So Gem Knights Finsmith, I think Gem Knights deviates each week. I think most of the time you would see Gem Knights with the Finsmith, but on some occasions you could also see Gem Knights with pure version with Nibiru, Talent, Droll, Ogre on the main deck, and sometimes you could also see Gem Knights with Azamina package on the main deck. Moving on next, we do have 1923 CS in Korea. First will be Dragon Link 60. So Dragon Link with Grass now. Didn't opted to play the Lady Dragon Maid, just played the Chamber and Tidying as the usual targets for the extra bounce of this deck, and also the Chamber can be a one card combo playing the Hospitality. And moving on next, we do have Gem Knights Finsmith once again. So yeah, pretty standard Gem Knights Finsmith now. This is what it looks like almost every single time. Just play the Baguska as your pass for the Fualos and Maxi. And next would be Malice. So Malice is back with playing Shifter once again on their main deck to counter the popularity of Orcus. And moving on next, we do have 1923 CS Trio. Next would be Orcus, Finsmith. Triple Nibiru on the main deck, didn't opt to play Fualos. The more usual choice would be playing Fualos because it doesn't matter whether you would draw the Fualos going first. You just need to discard it. And I think Nibiru is more of a countermeasure against the Mirror Match and also the Malice matchup. Next would be Blue Eyes Primite. So this is what the modern Blue Eyes Primite looks like. No called by, no cross out. Just played Nibiru Veiler on the main deck, and I think this is very pure to see. And the system down is also gaining some inclusions on the side deck just to counter the Orcus, because why not? It would instantly destroy the Orcus matchup on top of your Lancea on your side deck now. You would have a very comfortable matchup against the probably best deck. Next would be Crystron with Horus. Wow, interesting. And also played Clockwork Knight now. Interesting choice. And I think it also played Tyrion, yeah, with one Tyrion Regulus. Interesting choice. Next would be Marineford TCG tournament. First would be Malice. Played the Bestial Trio only. Didn't opt to play the Saronir. Next would be Tenpai Dragon with one Red Reboot on the main deck and one Gamecil Kaiju. Wow, interesting choice. Gamecil is not even played most of the time. I think Santa Claus is much more better here. Moving on next, we do have Mermaid Atlantean. Pretty standard. Just played 2 Fualos and 3 Impulse on the main deck. Moving on next, we do have Blue Eyes Primite. So this time, I just played Donner. Didn't opt to play Little Knight, but the recent builds of the Blue Eyes Primite are they are playing Little Knight back again. Because before, they are not even using it. But now, some people do. And it played too well on the side deck. I think it would be much better if he would play another going first card but instead he opted to play Called by the Grave just to respect the hand traps going first. Next would be Melodious. Just look at the amount of space that you have on this deck, no? 3 Dominus Purge, 3 Imperm, 3 Veiler, the Maxi, and Ash, no? So I think this kind of decks will be a thing that it will survive most of the meta games because you can just cater whatever the format needs on your main deck. And it is also easy to side out cards and slot in going first cards like Rivalry, Solemn Strike, the Barrier, no? Very easy to do that when you have so much space on your main deck. Next would be Arcana. Yeah, Arcana Force. Oh my goodness. I think this is probably the best Arcana Force decklist that you could probably mold your Arcana. I think it is the first time that I have seen a major top of Arcana because this is from Card Square, no? Card Square TCG in Korea. It is not one of the uh, small locals. It is one of the biggest locals in Korea. So I think this is really a legitimate win for Arcana. And next would be Marineford TCG tournament in Korea. First would be Voices Voice. No matter what happens, I think Voices Voice will perform. I think this is a very stable deck, and you couldn't go wrong with Voices Voice. And on the side deck, you just played one Anti-Spell Fragrance, one Summon Limit, one Judgment. No usage of more going for cards, no? The more usual approach on Voices Voice would be playing more going for cards rather than board breakers on the main deck. Next would be Ryzil with Sharks. So of course, people are trying to improve the consistency of Ryzil, playing more Sharks, Small World, and those likes. And I think it is very effective, and I think we are going to see a lot of Ryzils on this tier list and rather metagame report. And next would be Blue Eyes Primite. Pretty standard. Yeah, standard. Next would be another Blue Eyes Primite, this time with main decking one Skill Drain and only playing one Dominus Purge no, on the side deck. Didn't opt to play multiple copies of Dominus Purge. Instead, played the usual standard hand traps like Nibiru and Ghost Ogre. Moving on next, we do have another Marineford TCG, series of champions of Marineford. First would be Punk. Wow. Punk Fiendsmith, yeah, Punk Fiendsmith. I think Punk has been getting more and more results on the past week. They have been performing on the previous 2 weeks, and I think people are now seeing the improvement of Punk from their support from the QCTB, no? Because it was heavily overshadowed by Orcus and Dragon Maid. People have been neglecting the potential of Punk because Orcus is just so much better. And next would be Branded. Yeah, Branded 60. Standard. Just play the usual Trust and Grass. And next would be Memento Atlan. So Memento Atlan was not addressed by the ban list. They didn't get any hits or whatsoever. They just rolled on this January format without any drawbacks. And I think Memento Atlan has been a solid tier A or sometimes tier S on some weeks. So they could probably be hanging on the best deck status on this current January format. And the ridiculous part about that is people will neglect it. They are more likely going to focus on Orcus and Blue Eyes Primite rather than addressing their matchup with Memento Atlan. So that's a really scary fact for Memento Atlan. They could get away with anything that they want. And next would be Tetsu Share Tournament. First would be Dragon Maid. Yeah, played one talent and one prosperity on the main deck. And also cross out, no? That is very unusual to see because most of the Dragon Maids doesn't use the cross out on the main deck most of the time. Next would be Invoke Fiendsmith with Dogmatica, yeah. So I think the Invoke has been getting so much numbers on the past 2 weeks. They have been performing really astonishingly. They just use Fiendsmith, Azamina, Dogmatica, and Of course, your Alistair and Meltdown gives you a a form of Omni Negate on your board with Mekaba. So technically, you're going to have two Omni Negates almost every single time, and you're just going to barrage your opponent with the interruptions from the Dogmatica, from the Fleur de Lis and your hand traps, and also the Alex of Summon Limit here. Next would be Snake Eyes, White Forest. So just played a bunch of interesting side decking pattern, two Purulya and the BCL trio on the side deck, and one Ogre, and just played Red Reboot, Heavy Storm, and Feather Duster on it. Next would be Blue Eyes Primite. So Lightning Storm on the side deck. Didn't opt to play evenly or something. Also played Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, no? And the three Charmies with three Purulya and two Falas. Next would be Dragon Maid once again. Would be two Tiding and only, yeah, it played three Hospitality. So I think this is the correct way to play Tiding right now. Only at two. I also do this, to be honest, and I just think that two Tiding is enough because you're not trying to grind out games on Dragon Maid, on this modern post QCTB Dragon Maid. You're just going to stack up your negates and also bounce from the seals and tiding going first, and you could pretty much close out the game from that moment, and you don't really need to grind out games for long. And moving on next, we do have Infernoid. Yeah, Infernoid 60. So no matter what happens, I think this deck will always show up no matter what. You're just going to outgas everyone, and sometimes your non-engines can also do so much with Reasoning, Grass, Monster Gate, no? Once your opponent doesn't have any outs to those cards, I think you are going to snowball really hard on this deck. Next would be 1923 CS, uh, top 4 with Trio. First would be Memento Atlan. Main deck, Super Poly instead of Forbidden Droplet this time. Next would be Mermaid Atlantean. Super Poly once again, wow. We are now seeing some developments of Super Poly on the main deck, but I think it is due to the popularity of Blue Eyes and Horus, and rather Orcus and Malice, no? They could just easily be swoop with Garura or Madragon. And next would be Blue Eyes Primite, once again. So, pretty standard, just played Nyalos on the side deck. Next would be Ryzil. So, yeah, this is what I'm saying earlier. I think Ryzil has been showing some sparks of hope. They are trying to show the world that they are not yet dead, and I do believe that to a certain degree. I think Ryzil still has a lot of potential to show towards the people, even though they have lost consistency. You could get away with playing more consistency cards on the main deck, and probably more hand traps like this, no? Two follows through Purulya, and just a bunch of one-offs, one roll, one Nibiru, and yeah, I think you could get away with that. And moving on next, we do have another Blue Eyes Primite, this time with two Typhoon on the side deck, and it is very good on the mirror match, and also on the Orcus matchup, you could out the Babel and other matchups like Voices Voice and Runic. You could threaten their back row and also field spells. And moving on next, we do have Orcus, Finsmith, 3 orchestrated return. I think this has been the debate for most people. I think you would be better playing it off at 2 because most of my veteran Orcus friends are always saying to me that orchestrated return should be at 2, and I think that's the best way to play Orcus right now, to play return, because before I wasn't even including it on my testing builds of Orcus Finsmith, but for them it just gains you so much card advantages and also baits out interactions from your opponent. Next would be Dragon Maid once again. This time with Sangen Summoning on the main deck. This has been the old version of Dragon Maid 10 by Dragon. Just played the Sunken Summoning in Biden, rather Pydra. Next would be Crystron. So Crystron, I think this deck has been under the radar for most of the people, but it keeps on getting some results. And the scary part about that is that when people respect the deck, and this deck can have so much explosiveness going first, and be able to set up those type of negates like Baron de Fleur and Dragster, and also it could play on your opponent's turn as well. So this is really crazy. And of course the Cyber Dragon Nova Infinity Duo. And once you out those monsters, they could bring out another Omni Negate in the form of Mekaba, no? So it is really ridiculous to play against this deck. Next would be Tetsu Share Tournament, top 4. First would be Malice with triple draw on the main deck. Next would be Blue Eyes Primite. This time it played Dominus Purge on the main deck and 3 copies of Nibiru. Next would be Ryzil with Sharks, and wow, Upstart Goblin. He played Ryzil as a 36 card deck with 3 Upstart and 3 Prosperity, rather 1 Prosperity on the main deck. So you're just going to thin out your deck and improve your consistency no matter what, because you have lost so many pieces already. And next would be Ryzil once again. This time with Grave Digger's Trap Hole, because you are playing the Trap Tricks round 4. Next would be Weaver Share Tournament in China. First would be Blue Eyes Primite with Apple Dragon Tuner. Oh my goodness. What even is this? It is even playing the Bestial package. So this is more of a TCG approach of playing Blue Eyes Primite, more combo-ish, and focuses more on extending. Next would be Orcus. What even is this? It is playing Gem Knights and also Sakitama. Interesting choice, no? So Gem Knights as an engine for this deck. And also played 3 Typhoon on the side deck, and even 1 Torrential Tribute. Wow. He opted to play Torrential Tribute over the likes of Judgment, Anti-Spell, no? Wow, really crazy. Yeah. Next would be Magistus with Necros. Yeah, with Necros. Also played Necros engine. And didn't opt to play his didn't opt to reveal his side deck. Only 1 Typhoon. I'm not sure if it's a meme or something. And next would be, we still have 1 Sharks. Wow. We have another rank 4 deck, because it was so overshadowed by Ryzil. Because why would you play Sharks? A rank 4 deck when you can play Ryzil, which is infinitely better than Sharks, no? But now, I'm very happy to see Shark once back again in our metagame. And it is not also bad, no? It can Kraken pass. It has a lot of rooms for hand trap, and also can play the Waterbury Statue. So it could definitely have a legitimate win condition. Moving on next with the White Forest. White Forest Azamina. Bunch of hand traps on the main deck, no? Didn't have to play extenders. Just played Nib, Ash, of course, those usual hand traps just to respect the opponent. Next would be Weaver Share Tournament in China. First would be Orcus this time with Trickstar package with the Candina and Field Spell, the Light Stage. And even played 1 Torrential Tribute once again. Wow, interesting. Another Torrential Tribute on Orcus side deck. And next would be Mermaid Atlantean with Genex engine, yeah, with a small Genex package on the main deck. Next would be Purely with Finsmith, 3 Fable Luri, because why not? You're just going to discard these Luris. And next would be Orcus, without Finsmith, yeah, without Finsmith, just pure raw Orcus. And playing Ice Dragon Prison, oh my goodness. What do you even want to use this for? Probably Mirror Match, of course. Machine Mirror on this. Yeah, interesting choice. Yeah. And of course the dragon, no? Dragon matchups. And next would be Dragon Maid. Speaking of the dragons, of course Dragon Maid would be rattled with Ice Dragon Prison. And it is playing 10 pie package here. Next would be Orcus pure version. This is what I want to play Orcus right now. Just played 3 Solemn Strike, 1 Black Root Loves, and pure raw version with Forbidden Droplet. The deck feels so much spacious than the Orcus Fiendsmith, and I think you can capitalize on it because you have so many staples and you have an easier side decking pattern on this type of build. Next would be Blue Eyes Primate. Just played triple Phantasmi and triple Talent. Wow, quite ambiguous numbers of talent on the side deck. Just played so much talent here. And next would be Blue Eyes Primate once again. 3 Chaos Hunter, 3 system down. He just doesn't wanna lose against Arcus clearly. And also played Light Shine Ball. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. And next would be Orcus Fiendsmith. Yeah, standard. Next would be another Invoke Fiendsmith. This time with Azamina. Because the early build wasn't playing Azamina. Next would be Malice. 41 guard. Okay. Quite different from the usual 40 or 42. I rarely see 41 Malice. I always see 40 or 42. And this time played Retaliating Sea on the side deck. Next would be Oscana CS top 2. First would be Orcus with Fiendsmith. Next would be White Forest Fiendsmith. No Azamina. Yeah, it played Azamina. Small package of Azamina. And playing only one of the system down, just a fetch target for Trust, I believe. Next would be Memento Atlan with 2 Judgment and 2 Solemn Strike on the side deck. Next would be another Memento Atlan, this time almost no going first cards, no. Just there can be only one as your going first support. And moving on, next we do have Crystron once again. 43 card Crystron. This time it plays the Tidal package. It is very debatable to see Tidal because before a lot of people are playing Tidal on Crystron, but I think on the previous 2 weeks it has been a debate for some of them whether they would run Tidal or not. But for me, I would want to prefer playing without it. It just saves so much space for non-engines. Next will be Blue Eyes Primate. Pretty standard, no Dominus Purge on the main deck. Moving on, next we do have another Blue Eyes Primate. Wow, look at this deck. You could probably even play this even there's no light or brown out, no? Just look at the shining, glimmering cards here. Almost QSER. Almost every single card. And next would be Unchained Labyrinth. Yeah. I think Labyrinth is getting some innovations from most people because the usual Labyrinth would be Labyrinth with more controlling traps or floodgate, but the recent development was they are playing for furniture cards back again, and something like this, no? You just played Unchained here. And moving on, next we do have Ryzil with Sharks once again, and main decking one copy of Artifact Lancea. Insane, and didn't have to show his side deck. Next would be Orcus Fiendsmith. This time 3 Orchestrated Return and 1 Summon Limit on the side deck. Wow, ridiculous. Next would be Blue Eyes Primate once again. Just played a bunch of going second cards here with Typhoon, and also playing the Ultimate Fusion here. And moving on, next we do have Orcus pure version of Argus. No Solemn Strike on the main deck, instead opted to side deck. And Topologic Bomber Dragon. Wow, Topologic on the extra deck. Interesting choice. Would be Zeroboros would be better here. I'm not really sure. But the Bomber Dragon could make sense here. And next would be Gimmick Puppet, of course. Gimmick Puppet will be always here, and the generate FTK is just going to be relevant almost every single time. And next would be Dragon Maid with 3 Hospitality and 3 Tidying. And of course, playing Super Poly once again. And next would be White Forest as a Mina. And moving on next, we do have Punk, another Punk. Played Nyalos on the main deck. Interesting choice. You wouldn't see that every single time. I think Nyalos is just really optional to play right now, depending on your environment that you're playing. If they are playing more Malice or playing more Orcus for some degree. And next would be Dragon Maid once again with Lad package, no? You just play the Lad package just to have extra boost on your going first with the Omni Negate threats. Next would be Gimmick Puppet once again with Horus this time. And played Alpha, Master of Beasts here. What are you trying to bounce off on this card? I'm not really sure why you would play this. And next would be another Blue Eyes Primite. This time with 2 Phantasmi on the side deck. And side decking 1 Drill Beam, no? Yeah. 1 copy of Drill Beam was on the side deck. And also played Imduk. This is really awkward for me to see Imduk here. Maybe just another way to link climb. Just another tool to go into the Little Knight, no? Probably. Next would be Buster Blader Primite Blue Eyes. Yeah. These counters a lot of decks right now. Dragon Maid, Tenpai Dragon, the Mirror Match. This is what I want to see in this current metagame. It is very open for a lot of decks to express their genuine take on this metagame. You could play the Buster Blader and roll up everyone around the meta right now. And of course, the Buster Luck is just instant win against those Dragon decks. And next would be Galaxy Cup, top 4. First would be Labyrinth with standard Labyrinth right now. I think this has been the go-to build of most Labyrinth players right now. Just played a bunch of Floodgates and powerful trap cards going first. Punishment, Daruma Cannon, and the likes. And moving on next, we do have Malice. Yeah, standard. Just played that Scaper on the main deck. Next would be Dragon Maid. Once again. This time with Change of Heart on the side deck. Interesting choice, no? Next would be Gem Knights. This is the raw version of Gem Knights. Just played more hand traps and you can be good to go. You just want to respect the metagame, and of course the Nibiru and the likes of Bell and Ogre can be high impact on the best decks like Orcus and Bestial Primite, rather Blue Eyes Primite. Next will be another Orcus. This is probably the best 40 of the pure Orcus version. You just played 1 talent, the Droplet, and Solemn Strike, and 1 Black Goat Laughs, no? And moving on next, we do have Sky Striker. Wow, Sky Striker. It is very nice to see Sky Striker here. I am always happy when I see Sky Striker tapping, because you would know that the player dictates the game of Sky Striker. The Sky Striker really elevates their game once the pilot is really skilled and really knowledgeable on playing Sky Striker. And moving on next, we do have Super Heavy Samurai. Technically Earth Pile, no? With the likes of the Kueki Miru and the Adamantipator cards here. Next would be another Orcus. This time with triple draw on the main deck. No Forbidden Droplet this time. And moving on next, we do have Blue Eyes. Rather, Invoke with Dogmatica and Bestial. This time, no Azamina, no Finsmith, no. So, Invoke definitely shows some promise on this metagame. They are really showing some great potential. And they are playing different engines. It just varies every single time. This time with a small spellbook engine and Bestial this time. No Druism on the main deck, no. Just want to play the Regained probably on this build. And next would be Orcus Finsmith this time. Just play triple Nibiru and triple Flawless on the main deck. And next would be another Orcus. Of course, Orcus will be dominating. It is projected as the best deck right now from the Road of the King results, and also a bunch of metagame cheerlists have been projecting that Orcus is the best deck right now. And moving on next, we do have Malice. This time it played Saronir on the main deck, and yeah, a bunch of Bestials. Next would be Ryzil once again. This time with Gem Knights engine, no? So, earlier we have seen Orcus playing the Gem Knights package, and once again they are incorporating the Gem Knights package, this time on Ryzil. So, it is very interesting to see Gem Knights as an engine or a sub-archetype on some of the decks here. Maybe it could have a future in our metagame. We will see on the next few weeks whether it is a legitimate inclusion as an engine. And next would be another Invoke. Wow, bunch of Invokes on our report. Probably this is the 4th or 5th Invoke that we have seen already. Next would be our last inclusion here on our report, because there will be a part of this video for the January 7th to 12th edition. This time would be the top 4 in Japanese tournament. First would be Ryzil Sharks. This time with Grave Diggers as well on the main deck. And yeah, you could probably use that to protect your board from subsequent hand traps, and also of course to counter the Orcus, whether they would dump something like Harp or anything, you could just Grave Digger it. And next would be Orcus once again. Standard approach of Orcus, triple Phantasmi and triple Artifact Lancea has been the most optimal side decking pattern of most meta decks out there. And Phantasmi really is phenomenal against the top 4 best decks with the Orcus, Blue Eyes Primite, and the likes of Memento Atlan and Malice, no? So we are going to cover a lot of grounds. And next would be Blue Eyes Primite this time, and main decking one sa Artifact Lancea, no? Just to respect the Orcus, and it could probably be targeted towards Dragon Maid as well, because they want to banish cards for the lady. And yeah, that sums up our OCG Metagame report and deck list reviews from January 1st to January 7th. So if you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So this is a re-upload video of my earlier upload because it has audio problems. So forgive me if I haven't checked the audio of that video, and I just had to remake this video for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.